GM fam, we know that Curve gets a lot of guff for its seeming indifference to the front-end experience of users, but for developers, the user experience is actually quite phenomenal. Curve spends a lot of time optimizing to try and make the developer experience great, and this past weekend it took a major upgrade thanks to the legendary Fiddy, who deployed the MetaRegistry. What is the MetaRegistry? Let's dive in. This all starts from one address. You can use this address shown here on every single chain. It's the address provider contract, and Curve has helpfully deployed it to every single chain where it's launched at the exact same address, which means you bookmark this address and you can find every other helper function that you might need. So by way of example, if you pull up the get address function, it has an indexed offset of different contracts that could be useful. The first one is the most important one, which is the registry. So the registry has every single contract that Curve has launched directly within it, and through this you can access a whole litany of functions. Find a pool for coins, get the number of coins, get the actual coins underlying, get decimals, rates, gauges, balances, A parameters. This sort of thing that it might not necessarily be interesting to front-end users, but for developers, like a lot of these functions come in extremely handy. You can see the list goes on for about 30 some functions that might be useful. So this is great. But the problem was, as Curve evolved, it started adding more registries. So this registry is only for pools that were deployed by the Curve team. They also have, for example, a factory, which you can get here. This is for pools deployed by the general public. And then they went ahead and added on a crypto registry, which was for V2 pools that were launched by the team, as well as a V2 pool factory, which was for pools that were launched by general users. So all of a sudden, if you're a developer, instead of being able to search for a pool that you might want using just one registry, you all of a sudden had to search through and loop through 4 different registries. You can see where this could become a bit of a hassle. It was constant complaint in the Curve dev channel on their Discord, which is definitely a recommended place for developers with questions. So this is where Fiddy, in his infinite brilliance, launched the MetaRegistry. The MetaRegistry is the one registry to rule them all. It aggregates all the different other 4 registries that you see here into one MetaRegistry. The design is very smart. They have registry handlers, so it can be updated periodically. If there happens to be changes to them, you can just swap out one of the registry handlers and leave the MetaRegistry the same. And then the function calls will aggregate amongst all the different registries, and it's future-proofed up to 10 different registries. If we get to 10 different registries, provided they keep this consistent format, we're going to be able to see this MetaRegistry expand to adapt. So you can see the MetaRegistry has been deployed to this contract address here. It has pretty much everything you might need. Notice all the familiar functions, except instead of having to call this across 4 different registries, this contract does the trick for you. So take a look, give Fiddy a hand. Fiddy has been phenomenal in developing this and solving developer needs. If you have questions about it, the Curve dev channel is a great place to be. Look forward to fielding your questions in the comments. Stay safe out there, friends.